I didn't find you disagreeable, just, debating. I did take the chance to watch you guys on YouTube afterwards, and I read the comments, and there was a comment by one guy who left some information, and it appears that there can be marked improvement to congestive heart failure, and he linked some studies. But one of the other things that he linked, though, was a study to where prayer does improve the outcome for people if the person knows about it. And so that, that study was there too. So it kind of countered the other one was saying that, there was a chance for it to be spontaneously, well, it didn't say healed, but it said marked improvement. It didn't really specify what that was. But I guess the other part of it where he's saying that, there was a healing when the person knew about it, kind of boosts Matthew 18:19 and 20. I'm not sure if you know what that
verse. No, actually know
really,
that verse.
Really quick,
Matthew 18:19, 20.
Let me jump in here. The study was on intercessory prayer, and the results were within the margin of error, but technically it was 51% and 52% chance of complications. The higher percentage, again, within the margin of error, but was
it makes you wonder about the placebo effect.
Well, when they knew they were being prayed for, was actually the higher chance of complications. So it showed the opposite of improvement from intercessory prayer.
Jenny, before we continue, I just want to say that you do not cease to amaze me with how much you looked into this. Going into the comments and checking that kind of stuff out. Most people try and reaffirm their own biases, and the fact that you're going out there is amazing. I absolutely love it. We have a disagreement about where you are at the end, but the fact that you're putting in the footwork is fantastic. You were talking about Matthew 19, right?
18, 19, 20.
18, 19,
chapter
20.
18, verses 19 and 20.
So that is if two men will put their hand upon or will touch a thing and pray upon it, what is done on earth will be done in heaven, right? God will bless that and make it happen, pretty much. Is that right?
You know that verse?
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
So,
but yes, that's exactly what it is. They're saying that if two people, come to agreement and they ask it in God's name, that it'll be done on earth as it is in heaven. So very, very good. I paraphrased it, but you're right on.
Thank you. So that kind of makes me wonder. I mean, doesn't it kind of make you wonder why there are so many prayers that are left unfulfilled?
Well, Dan, that goes back to what we were saying about, and the other caller was saying about God's will too, that sometimes even if you pray for it and you have that earnest belief in your heart that you want it, that still doesn't mean that it's the right thing for you.
Well, to be clear, because
that's what the part where he's saying done on earth as it is in heaven, so ultimately his choice.
Well, I mean, if it's ultimately God's choice when humans pray and ultimately God's choice when humans don't pray, then what is the difference when humans pray compared to when they don't?
I think that's, it goes back to how you have free will. If you're everyone, there's God's will, right? And then there's free will where he allows you to, alter and have your own plan. And then when you're asking for prayer, it's kind of like he resets it and puts you back on his track.
So to be clear, does prayer change what God would do, or does God act independently of what people pray for?
God has his plan, and then you have free will to do your own thing.
All right. But does prayer affect God's plan?
Prayer can reset you back to God's plan.
Okay, so when a person is praying, they're not praying to get God to do something that God otherwise wouldn't do. They're praying for themselves, right? To realign themselves, right?
To be brought into God's will. That's correct. That's what I believe anyway.
All right. Well, I mean, that's not an entirely off the wall belief. That's in Islam. That's the purpose of prayer. Which, as you stated last week, which kind of took me by surprise, that they are also saying prayers to what they describe as the God of Abraham.
I honestly, Jenny, I know this sounds bad, but you are so close.
Well,
you are so close.
We're here. Join us.
Really, it's fun over here.
Well, I mean, don't join us because it's fun. Join us because you.
Yeah, because you're convinced. But I would really urge you to take a look.
With religion and have it all my life, so it's kind of hard for me to just abandon things. But I'm willing to look into things, and I really appreciate it. I wish I'd got the guy's name on YouTube, but I didn't get his name to give him a shout out. But I really do appreciate him linking that study, and I was happy to learn. But he kind of portrayed the other study differently than you guys did. So, and he didn't link that one that I saw. So I'll go look into that one and see what the prayer one said.
In fact, if you share that with us or can highlight that either on YouTube or by emailing us at mail@talkheathen.com, on or off the air, I'd really like to take a look at that because the only one that I'm aware of is the one that Jamie referenced, but the one...
Oh, the study, okay.
Yeah, and the one that you're referencing that shows a marked improvement by prayer.
Okay.
Because she's referring to the same
YouTube
one.
Comment.
Okay, because my initial reaction to that is to think, well, how much of that is the placebo effect? And... how much of that can, how far is that from the margin of error that it would justifiably say that there's something to this, right, and that it's not.
But wouldn't the placebo effect have an opposite effect of what Jamie was saying? Because he said that
the placebo effect would positively.
If I heard correctly, that they got worse.
So the percentage, the chance of complications was almost certainly within the margin of error because it was 1% chance higher, but 1% chance higher when the patients knew that they were being prayed for.
Okay.
It's definitely worth checking out, and I'm definitely going to look into that on my side. If you have,
I wonder if it's just because they worry that if they don't get better at this point.
Yeah, that's been one of the sort of things. Is like, was it?
Kind of performance anxiety?
Performance anxiety, yeah. Oh no, if I don't get well,
then
I'm failing Jesus. Yeah, it's sort of like...
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, well, I will look into those and I'll send you the studies that I find.
That's awesome. And Jenny, as always, you're welcome to call back if you have any other things that you want to bring
or
up.
Email us at mail@talkheathen.com. How many times today are we going to say that?
No, we're going to plug the heck out of it.
Until people remember it.
Yeah, you got it. Jenny, thank you so much for being a listener and calling in.
A wonderful caller, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
All right. Thank you, Jenny.
Bye. I like her a lot.
She is one nice lady.
Right? Mm-hmm. I actually want
Or man. I don't actually know what her pronouns are.